Women Who Own It podcast spotlights women business owners who are pioneers in their field, setting trends, blazing trails, and creating game-changing innovations. Brought to you by WBENC, the largest certifier of women-owned businesses in the U.S. and a leading advocate for women business owners and entrepreneurs. And me, Allison Maslin. I've been a business owner for the last 35 years. I'm the Wall Street Journal best-selling author of the book, Scale or Fail. So join our bold community of women who built it, grew it, and own it. I'll see you on the show. Welcome to Women Who Own It podcast, brought to you by WBENC, the largest certifier of women-owned businesses. I am your host. My name is Allison Maslin, and I'm the CEO and founder of Pinnacle Global Network, where we mentor business owners around the world to grow and scale their companies. Now, Women Who Own It podcast is brought to you by women business leaders for women business leaders, and we feature some amazing business owners that are here to make the journey just a little bit easier for you, bringing their wisdom and inspiration. And today we have such a superstar businesswoman. Lara Nicola is the founder and president of Smart Sips Coffee, an exciting brand of unique flavored coffees, decafs, lattes, cappuccinos, and hot chocolates. Lara is an award-winning entrepreneur who's been featured on Good Morning America, where she swam with the sharks from Shark Tank. She's been interviewed on Fox and Friends, Money Magazine, and on iHeartRadio. Her products have also been featured in US Weekly and Reader's Digest. Lara left her corporate advertising career 8 years ago to start Smart Sips Coffee and has grown the company into a successful national brand. She's created a niche, building a brand based on creativity, innovation, and products that insert excitement into the daily coffee drinking routine. So Lara, I am so excited that you are here. Welcome to Women Who Own It.
Hi, Allison. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I mean, I did some research and ordered some of your coffees. I'm so excited to try them. What was your inspiration to become a business owner, and why the coffee business?
So I always knew that I wanted to own my own company. My father owns his own company. My mother, she's a therapist and is in her own private practice. So I always knew that I wanted to own my own company. And my dad always said, make your mistakes elsewhere before you, own your own. So that was something I always knew I wanted to do, but I had no idea what kind of company I wanted. So a lot of entrepreneurs are passionate about marketing, or they create something and they're so passionate about selling it. And I was passionate about wanting to own my own company, but had no idea what kind. So that leads me to, how did I get into coffee? Having no idea what I wanted to do, I just started by making a list. I'm a huge list maker. So I said, okay, I know I want a product. That's just something, I just want to sell a product, not a service. I'd always worked in marketing and I know what that side of it, want a product. I always wanted an e-commerce product. Because, 8 years ago, the world has been shifting that way for quite a while.
Right.
And then that being said, if you want an e-commerce company, you need a product that is shippable, right? Something, hopefully not breakable. And then having a marketing background, I know we work so hard to get customers that I wanted it to be something where there's a repeat purchase. That was really important. I didn't want to, sell something where you have a customer buys once in a lifetime or once every several years. I want to get and retain. And coffee just seemed perfect for me. It seemed like the perfect fit. So I started doing that. I didn't find my niche right away. I started in regular coffee and then just kind of found my niche in the fun and unique flavors. So
yeah, that is, I love that you really, well, first of all, having the marketing background, I'm sure that definitely helped you.
Yes.
But also just really thinking that through, like, I want something that's not a one and done. And obviously coffee is something that people, once they start drinking, they don't stop. It is something they want for probably the rest of their life.
Yeah, once a month you're buying it, your friends, you share it. Coffee is something really social too, where you drink it with your friends, or hot chocolate, you drink it with, your kids. So it's a really also a word of mouth repeat. It's a really kind of cool point.
I think so too. I absolutely love my coffee. There's a ritual with it, right? Like, so I love that you actually thought those things through, because I think a lot of business owners just jump in with an idea and are not thinking about that. Okay, what is recurring? Where is there a big demand and so forth? So, that was super smart, even though you said you didn't know what you were doing, but that was actually very, very smart. So now coffee is a crowded space, yet your company is thriving. And so what makes your coffee product unique?
So I think it's, and there's so many crowded spaces, and I know how that makes, people hesitant to jump into this, crowded space. But I created a unique product, but I also created a brand. So, the product wise, we have really unique flavors. I love to have some fun with it. We have brown sugar bourbon, chocolate peanut butter coffee. I do a lot of decafs. I like, decaf, banana chocolate chip, just really having fun with it. So that's a unique differentiator point. We do decaf lattes and key lime pie, all the stuff. I'm obsessed with red velvet, so you'll see a lot of red velvet in my line. But also, when it's so competitive, it's really important to build a brand. If you think of, some of these big like clothing brands or like Adidas, it's a white t-shirt, it's black shorts, but you buy it because of a logo. There's brand loyalty. People like that brand. So I really wanted to give, so someone's just not buying my chocolate peanut butter coffee. They're understanding who we are as a brand. It's my product. It's our, box colors. It's the thank you notes that I write. It's connecting with customers and making them want to shop with you. And so they try a chocolate peanut butter and they want to come back and try something else. And so it's really that point of finding your unique, differentiator points, but also building a brand that people want to shop at.
Yeah. And you've made it like an experience, really.
Yeah.
And I love all the unique flavors that you have. And, you've been very innovative. And I think sometimes in different businesses, different industries, people kind of like to stay within the lines of what everyone else has done. And I talk about all the time with our clients and so forth that, in this market, this crowded space, you really do need to be unique. You need to be innovative. And you've definitely done that.
And I think that also, because we're both marketing people, I think when you build an authentic brand that's authentic to yourself, it could be scary to go outside those lines. But when you know that it's in line with your own values, your own vision, you can kind of be okay with that scariness. My brand is built on, like fun, excitement, so as long as I stay in that, we launch new products that scare me so much, but I just, if you just build a brand that's authentic and you stay in that, true to that brand, it just kind of helps you navigate while innovating and pivoting.
Yeah. Now, do you ever have where you come up with a new flavor, a new line, and you're kind of surprised that it doesn't work like you thought it would?
Yes. And the joke is we go, you get a matcha for Christmas. You get a matcha. You just like, we know that like, you're just going to get it. All my friends are going to get it because we'll have it left over and you're going to get it for Christmas. But it's just, you know what? Nobody hits it out of the park. So I just also like, I don't want to let like being scared stop me. So if I launch 10 new flavors, all 10 are not going to be the biggest winners, even though I may think they're amazing. So, it is what it is. And you listen. I don't push my values, or my, just because I love, something, I listen and we'll phase it out. And I'm just proud of myself for trying. Right.
Yeah.
And
I love
what
that.
it is.
I love that. Hey, look, I've got like tons of boxes in my garage of certain books that just didn't make it. Or book signings where, hardly anyone shows up. So, you just keep moving on. And that's just part of it. So now you served your coffee to the sharks of Shark Tank on Good Morning America. And I watched your pitch. And for those of you listening, if you have a moment to go back and watch this, because you were so spot on in your enthusiasm and you got everything in, in a concise way that they were inspired. And Lori Greiner even said, "Oh my God, I think I've ordered these before." Like,
that was crazy. Yeah.
That must have been so fun. What did you learn from that experience? Anything that you could pass on?
So the biggest thing that I learned is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I knew that day I was going to be very uncomfortable. I've never been on live TV. I had a fear of public speaking before that, like a massive fear of public speaking. Okay. I knew the day was going to be really scary and I was going to be really uncomfortable. So I only had like 3 days to prep for it. So I just got my brain and said, I wrote my pitch and I made myself say it probably like 200 times, but I didn't want to be comfortable when I practiced it. So sounds silly, but I stood up against the wall and I practiced it talking right against the wall. It's really uncomfortable. And then I was shopping for, something to wear. And I just said, "Excuse me, can I just say," like, I said a pitch to a store and they, and it was like a mom shopping with her daughter and just like the girl behind the register. And I was like, "Hi, can I just say my pitch to you?" And it was so uncomfortable stopping somebody. They were really nice, but I just kept doing it. I did it in a small room. I said it in my warehouse, which is, big, like I just kept saying it in situations that I felt uncomfortable because I wanted to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh, that's like one of the greatest stories, Lara, that I am definitely, Lara, I'm going to share that because we say get comfortable with the uncomfortable, but you actually tried to feel uncomfortable to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah. And then that day I had the sharks in front of me. I had the producers behind me. I had the live audience to the right of me. And, my dad and my husband in the audience, and I was just ready. And when you see the lights counting down, or you see like the counting down, it was like 5, 4, and I just started dancing and just like, and then, so then I just like bounced into it because I was fine being uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is so great. That takes a lot of courage to walk up to somebody in a store and just say, "Hey, can I do my pitch?" But I'm sure people were super supportive.
They were really nice. They were super nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus you were sharing your brand. So you were like a walking billboard, which so you probably got
or a crazy lady, but very thin line.
Yeah. And so what has come out of that experience?
It was a wonderful experience. It was a really, personally, it was a really nice growth experience. I had a major fear of public speaking and I've done it a bunch of times. Since then I've taught, like master classes, I've been on other, media, and it really, so personally, it was a really great experience. And then for the business, I mean, within a couple hours, I think we had like 5,000 orders. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was awesome. And so, yeah, it's been a great.
That's great. And so, experience. Public relations is really powerful, especially when you get on the right, medium that have a lot of viewers or a lot of readers. And your products have also been in Reader's Digest, in US Weekly. What advice do you have for other entrepreneurs who would like to get that type of media coverage and publicity?
You know what? It's to really find your story. Yes, we all want our products. I think my products are amazing and I think they should be everywhere, but we have a story, and that's what makes our company different. That's a differentiator in itself. So thinking maybe instead of pitching your products or your services, you could be the best marketing agency, the best HR company. But what brought you there? We all have these stories. I left the corporate career after I had my son and started from my kitchen table, while I had like a 7-month-old on my lap, and people, that's something that people can relate to. So find your, learn how to communicate your story, and then have the intention of wanting to connect with other people. We all do want to, have our products on, but really find the correct medium to share your story and your products. So when I went on Fox and Friends and, talked about being, an entrepreneur, and I loved it. They showed a picture of my kids, and that just warmed my heart. It just warms my heart. That's a story of, so find your story, and then find the people that work at the media places that you want to get on.
And just reach out to them directly.
That's what I do. I have a marketing background, but I do not have a PR background. I just thought I just wanted to share my story, and just kept reaching out to people.
Yeah.
Nobody reached out,
That's
you have to
so great.
You have to do it.
Yeah, I think this is so great because, I used to run an advertising PR firm back in the day, years ago. And I would just tell people it's really smiling and dialing. You can do this yourself. You don't need to have a big PR budget and so forth. So this is proof right here. You've been able to get this media just by sharing your story, being relatable, creating an angle, and you've done well with that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now we're here because of WBENC. And I know that you are a certified women business owner. How have you utilized WBENC to support your business growth?
WBENC is a really important part of my, life as a business owner. I think it's amazing for education, relationships, and opportunities. This year, I was in the WBENC We Thrive cohort. So that, and I also took the EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System program, which was a 5-week program. So it's wonderful in helping me. I think, I don't think I know everything. I don't think anyone knows everything. So I always want to learn more, how to better myself, how to better the company. So the educational resources are amazing, absolutely amazing. The relationships, I've met so many great fellow, WBENC certified women, and I'm still in touch with them. I've met them, in the class, in the courses, and back when we had live events. And having a tribe of women facing the same issues, I work with my husband. So I met a couple of women who also work with their husband, and we're like, oh, can we start something offline? Can we just, because there's certain challenges, right, that are relevant specifically when you work with someone you're related to or married to. And then the opportunities, companies really, they want to do business with WBEs. And I think that WBENC does a great job of connecting us. So I can't say enough great things about it.
I know they're amazing. And it's obviously why I'm here and what this podcast is all about. I work with my husband too. So I'll be part of that support group with you because it's a whole different deal. I love working with my husband, but it definitely is, when you have a strong woman and you're partners with your husband, there's all kinds of different things that can come up. So
actually, a year ago, my husband and I were on the Today Show with Hoda and Jenna. That was my dream, but to get on the Today Show. But it was to talk about the interesting dynamics of working with your husband, and furthermore, me owning the company and him. So, and it is interesting dynamics, right? I love it. But yeah, we were on the Today Show to, and kind
Oh
of
my
talked about
gosh,
that.
I'm going to have to look that up. I bet that's fantastic. Yeah, I love working with my husband too. But it has been, it's definitely a different kind of journey for sure. And so, now often,
My cat is trying to join the interview. Let me try to get him.
That's hilarious. We love that.
Yeah.
See, you're being real.
Yep.
I know.
Took this from home instead of the office because, to be real, my husband has my kids at the office today, so I can take this here. So
yes,
if anyone could relate.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll hear either our golden retriever, Winston, or our English bulldog, Gidget, barking. So anyway,
I love that. Anywho,
so struggles in business, we all get them. We don't plan on it. They just happen. And sometimes they can be our biggest breakthroughs, and it can be rough for business owners, especially in the early days, to get that. Can you share a time when, you thought something was painful or disappointing, and it ended up being like the inspiration for something new or a blessing in disguise?
Yeah, so I kind of think of this in two ways. So we all have like those big challenges, and we come out the other side and we're like, okay. But sometimes I feel like it's all the daily, weekly, monthly. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? It's all those like little, you have like someone, leaves your company, or, for me, like the labels are printed wrong, or this flavor, so it's like, sometimes it's just getting over each hump, and then you look, you're like, wow, it has been such a tough week. I feel like I've run a marathon, but it's just been all those little tiny obstacles that are exhausting. So those are that's a challenge too. But I think the biggest, would definitely be when COVID hit. I have a daughter, she was in kindergarten, and a son in second grade. So there was no school. I mean, I had to teach from home. So the challenge of figuring out, and I don't say balancing home and work, it's a juggle because there was no balance.
Yeah.
But that was really difficult and so challenging to figure out how to get these two little kids in front of a computer. I had to still work, and it was really hard. And then I realized that you can't do two things. For me, I support the way everyone does it. I think the way everyone does it is wonderful and right. But for me, I couldn't check my phone while I was teaching them because it was too stressful. There's no teaching a kindergartner and going through their schoolwork. And what it taught me, and what it taught me on the other side was, slow down. It's okay. The company life still goes on. Just because I don't answer an email right away, everyone lived. It was fine. And it was just, I was putting this pressure on myself, and it just didn't do anyone good. So I'm sure everyone has their COVID obstacles, but to come out on the other side, just seeing it's so trivial. So what? I don't get back to your email. It takes me 4 hours instead of 30 minutes.
You know what? That is so great. It really puts things into perspective. When you look at the big things, they're your children, and their education is important. Plus, they're going to feel if you're not present with them.
Yeah.
Right. They know it.
And they won't sit in front of the computer. Like, I'm sure any other mother out there with little kids, like if I wasn't standing there, like I'd see them start shrinking like this. Like they would just, I had to physically be there to make sure that they would sit there.
Yeah. And so really the lesson of this is things are going to happen, obviously, like a big thing like COVID, and you've come out the other side and everything was okay, because it was hard for sure. And challenging, and so much to juggle, but here you are. And, You're fine.
There's
Nobody died. Your kids are doing great.
There's a quote that I love, and I always say it whenever I've been like, doing like speaking things, and I had to write it down for myself and really tell myself this every day. It's blessed are the flexible, for they shall never be bent out of shape. And I had to just go, okay, blessed are the flexible. Stay flexible. The day is not going to go how you think it's going to go. And when you get upset about it, and it's just going to make it worse. So blessed are the flexible. So let's be.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to write that down. That's a great one. So, well, congratulations for that, for making. Now, was COVID helpful for you for your online business? Because I know that a lot of digital businesses actually had a good increase.
It was good. It was good to already be in the e-commerce space and have that. I have my own fulfillment center. We have our own warehouse where we fulfill. So a lot of people that had physical places were, they didn't know where to start. So it was good. There was more online traffic, and luckily coffee is a staple in people's lives that you still continue. So it was good. Yeah. Definitely. I had a lot of new projects that I was on the verge of launching. So I just had to table everything that I was so excited about and just focus, it wasn't the time to start anything new or invest in new product lines. So to have those wheels screech to a halt, but it was still wonderful to be in the e-commerce space, be set up, have a name, have everything needed. We kept going.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because a lot of people had to try to figure it out, in a short window of time. And, we mentor business owners in so many different industries. So like that first month right after COVID, it was crazy, like pivot.
Yeah.
But they did it. So,
yeah.
So speaking of your online business, subscriptions are really popular right now. And it is one of the things that we help our clients create, that because like you said, when we first started this interview, you wanted something that could be recurring revenue. And that's just so smart for a business owner, because it also increases the value of your business to have recurring revenue. How did you decide to go the subscription route? Rather than in e-commerce, rather than having your focus be, in the retail stores. Here's another scaling tip using our Scale It method. And building a team can actually be one of the most fun and rewarding things that you could ever do. But a lot of business owners would probably beg to differ. And the reason is that they are acting as a boss instead of a leader. See, when you're acting like a boss, you really feel like all the pressure is on your shoulders. Like you have to be the decision maker, the rainmaker, the everything maker. And you need to keep everybody accountable, make sure things are done on time, correct employees, team members when things aren't done right. Like that's exhausting. What needs to happen is you need to shift into being a leader, to step into your own leadership. And by doing that, by living your why, by moving from the heart and speaking from the heart, you will inspire your team into action. They will want to do more. They will treat it like it's their own. And when you do this, you are building more of a collaborative culture. So instead of jumping in and saving the day and always giving the answer to something, you could respond by saying, you know what? This is yours. Go ahead, put a plan together, take it and run with it. I have faith in you, right? This creates a completely different playing field. So it's time for you to build that collaborative, rewarding, and meaningful company culture. Your team will thank you for it, and so will your customers.
So one of the benefits of having an e-commerce company is the technology that's available. So I use Shopify. I built my site in Shopify, and I highly recommend it. It's wonderful. And so there's apps that just connect to it seamlessly. So when we decided we want to incorporate a subscription model, which is kind of like a no-brainer. Like let's just, people drink coffee and they reorder every month or for, for their offices every 2 weeks. So just finding a really great provider. We use Bold. And I'm happy with them, and it just seamlessly plugs into the back end of Shopify, my e-commerce website, and we created our own subscription base. And since we have, it's been really successful, and I definitely highly recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, those are some great tips. I think sometimes in business, we can think of, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. So therefore, I'm not going to do that. And here you just gave a simple solution. So
go into the Shopify app store and you just kind of type in what your pain point is. They have apps for everything. And that's one of the best parts of having an e-commerce company. There's so many digital solutions. You just have to search for it.
I love that. Great tips. Now, you started the early years of your business as a solopreneur, and then, transitioning to a team, which obviously we all need to do because there's only so many hours in the day. What was the hardest part, transitioning to bringing on employees and working with a team?
So I think the hardest part of when you bring on your first person would be delegating. Because there's things we know no one can do like us, where we did this, but learning to delegate and that was huge. Also, when you start getting more employees, it's teaching your company's culture. So teaching the tone of your company's voice and your company's ethics. When I hired my first marketing assistant, and she was answering, emails, and teaching her how to answer back. We're a fun, I want to, hey, Pat, how you doing? If you're in Wisconsin, we're a Green Bay Packers fan. I know we're in New Jersey and, my husband is a Giants fan too, but, just putting some personal spin on it and teaching that tone of voice. And once you've communicated your culture to your employees, making sure that they roll it out. So definitely the first most difficult part was the delegating, getting it off your plate.
But once you did,
out of my hand.
What once so you good. Did was very freeing.
It's so freeing. It's so freeing. It's
it's so funny. I've had so many clients over the years say, I can't let go of this. I can't let go of this, or, I'm afraid to spend the money on it. And then after they do, a few months down the road, it's like, how did I function without this person? So
I also feel that COVID kind of helped with that because I couldn't go into the office. So the things there was things I had no choice to delegate, and you learn, okay, when you must, you can, right? So I had no choice. Turns out I can delegate those things. So
yeah. COVID created a lot of changes for everybody. And definitely some good things came out of that. Now, looking back on your trajectory so far, are there any things that you wish you would have done differently, or boy, if I only knew, then what I know now, what would that be?
Definitely in the beginning, I didn't have a peer group. So I only became WBENC-Certified a few years ago. I'm also a member of the WPO, Women Presidents Organization. And that's a peer group, not so much a networking group, but a peer group. I felt that I worked in a silo. I was alone. I didn't have any other friends who were business owners, or furthermore, I didn't have any friends who were moms of young kids and business owners. And so I didn't have anyone to talk to about and relate to and get advice. So if I just could have joined earlier and surrounded myself with, with the women that I know now, I have a question about anything, employees or anything. And I have, fellow women business owners that I could just text or email or have lunch with. And that is so valuable, just surrounding yourself and being a support system and a resource for other women is invaluable. And I would have done it day one if I can go back and tell myself while I was sitting at my kitchen table, starting this company, join a group, find your circle. I would tell myself that.
Yeah, I that's such great advice. And WBENC is such an incredible community for that. And Phil Knight, who's the founder of Nike, said, business is hard enough, like get all the support that you can. And I truly believe, and that's what we do at Pinnacle Global Network. We are a mastermind, and that's exactly what we do with peer groups and having a mentor. I have always had a business coach from the early days. And, I'm a pretty smart cookie, but you're so close to your business sometimes that, you just keep seeing the same answers over and over. It's hard to get out of the box. So that's such a smart thing. And so as we are wrapping this up, any new products, any new coffee flavors that you're planning to introduce?
Yes, I'm so excited. So we just launched a couple new coffee flavors, which are so good. We have a new jelly donut, which is insane. And, with my stuff, you drink your dessert and there's no sugar, carbs, whatever. So that we have a bunch of new flavors, but we're coming out with some new things. We're about to launch cold brew. So we'll have our fun flavors like, our blueberry cinnamon and some coconut rum and some really good cold brew. And then we have oat milk lattes coming out. And so good. The pumpkin spice one is amazing. And right now we have just ground and single serve cups. So we'll be launching packets. So our hot chocolate packets and our chai and lattes, and no one else is really doing that on the market. Our chocolate peanut butter, hot chocolate, white chocolate raspberry, all that, those hot chocolates. And we have a bunch of other new things. So definitely
super creative. And, I love that. I mean, I think this is definitely worth mentioning that your products, here you have jelly donut and all of that. You would think, oh my gosh, that's going to be super fattening, but you're saying no sugar, no carbs.
Yeah. And 2 calories per cup. So my coffees, and just like I said, we create this brand that's just like us. Like I've been on Weight Watchers, and I always say I don't drink my calories unless it's wine. But so my coffees are no sugar, no carbs, 2 calories per cup. And then my lattes, hot chocolates, and cappuccinos are only 6 grams of sugar and 70 calories. And compare that to to somebody else, there's usually like 28 grams of sugar or something. So wow. I do
Yeah. Well, so those of you that are listening, you definitely need to get on our website, Smart Sips Coffee, and become, a member of her subscription program, because this is fantastic. I cannot wait to get mine and get started on those. And so, Lara, this has been awesome. I've learned so much. Thank you for taking the time with us today. And I'm sure those listening have been taking notes and all of that. So I really appreciate you being here with us on Women Who Own It.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Allison. It was so nice chatting. I could do this for like another hour.
I know. I love this stuff. I absolutely, and that's why I'm hosting this regularly, because it's so much fun for me. So for those of you that are listening, if you enjoyed this episode, please write a review. We really appreciate that. We want to hear from you. Share this with other business women that you care about. And until next time, get out there and elevate yourself, because you are worth it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.